Bourbon Barkeep, my name's Curtis. It is that time of year to where we are just doing yearly recaps. Did we spend our money wisely? Can I find a backup of the best batch that came out in March? I don't know. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, some of the crowd favorites out there for probably best value, best barrel proof. I mean, these guys, they're sought after. What else we gotta do? And not horribly hard to find usually. So let's see. Is there a previous batch that you should be hunting in this winter season at this point? Let's find out. All right, Booker's done. 4 bottles, barrel proof, and that's a haul. 3, a little less intimidating and cheaper. So let's see how this works out. Now, quick recap. We got our A batch. This guy came out obviously in January because of the one. If you were new to this arena, if you will. A, first batch in January of 2025. We got 10 years, 7 months at 118.2 proof. So a little lower proof, and but you at least had your double digits, which we will talk about in a second. Some said, I think maybe I was one of them. I don't know. You can check the tape at this point. This is probably one of the better A batches that they've put out. So everybody's like, hey, here we come. We're going to do this thing. And then B525 comes out. We're at 11 years, 6 months, 126.2 proof. And you're like, uh-oh, we're a little older now. We're getting a little more proof, a little hair on our chest now. And then C shows up. You're like, who brought you to this party? This one, first ever single digit age statement. 9 years, 1 month, 129 proof. So proof is still up there. The age, you're like, I don't know. Is that why you're not acting mature? Is that why you're putting the carrots in your nose at the Thanksgiving table, at the Christmas dinner table? You got the cranberries in your ears. Is that why you're doing it? Or do you just need better parents at this point? And if it's my kids, it could be the parents. So we're gonna get these poured up. We are gonna do a blind, mainly because C's a disappointment. I'm gonna tell it to its face. It's a disappointment, and I just need to know: did it get better after opening up after a couple days, or are you just you at this point? Poured up, shuffled up. I don't know how much shuffling there can really be possibility wise. Someone else better at the math can do those probabilities for me, but we got 3, so we're just gonna go with this. If you could tell by the color, my eyes are going to the middle saying, why are you so much lighter? And maybe it's because it's the C batch. We shall see. We're just going to try and push all this out and just see what's best. I don't know how much I'll deep dive. I usually say I won't, and then I ramble. So that's probably what's going to happen. Like and subscribe. Yes, please. Rich oak, great brown sugar. Oh, that brown sugar. It takes me back to, like, I'm not saying sweet potatoes in it, but like that baked brown sugar and that sweet potato casserole. Yeah. No marshmallows though. Great rich oak on this one. Nice leather and kind of tobacco kind of reining in this beautiful rich nose so far. Good vanilla. I'm going to go nutmeg in there. Yeah. I think that's enough for now. We'll see if anything else comes out after the sip. I don't want to go just nosing. I feel like that's weird. Just smell stuff for 10 minutes. So on the palate. Yes. Ooh, that's nice. A lot of oak. Ooh, that's good. Good caramel in there. Great vanilla. But man, there's a lot of allspice, rice spice kind of coming out to where I'm a little sensitive to when it starts going into like this clove, allspice, and at least with kind of this leather, tobacco, oak, that brown sugar still there. It's at least complex enough to where I can appreciate it a bit more. But that allspice kind of clove is pretty intense on the palate. Great slow finish in the chest. I mean, you're talking barrel proof. Sometimes I feel like those finishes can be just too quick to where you want it to hang on the palate and it's just fire down the gullet. This one seems to have a nice slow finish to it. Pretty delightful. I am going to do a sip 2, acclimate a little bit, and then we'll see. Sip 2, even better. I did feel like the allspice and kind of clove kind of moved to the more of the finish rather than hanging on the palate. You have this kind of nice little cherry and like pecan pie starting to come out. It's rich, it's oaky. We know the ages of all these, obviously, but this one seems to be on the older side. I would almost say it drinks a little older than what I know what the age stated labels say. But a lot more oak, great kind of baked dark goodness, wrapped in leather, tobacco, allspice, and baking spices. Very good, very well rounded. Let's move on to what, at least on this table, what appears to be the lightest of them. So hopefully it's good showing. We shall see. A little muted. It is kind of coming across a little fruity, maybe a little apple. Apple, vanilla, a little honey. All right, as this has heated up, this has gotten richer. That's part of the problem with doing some of these reviews in a basement, to where it's a little cold down here, as you can see by the hoodie. This one starting to open up very nicely. Still that good oak in there, nice caramel. I wouldn't say the apple transformed, we'll just say the apple is gone. I'm gonna go nougat. Like there is a nice rich kind of creaminess to this guy. Little bit of trail mix in there, which you kind of expect coming from Heaven Hill. I don't necessarily think it's Booker's in terms of the nuttiness by any means, but there's just kind of this nice mixed nut, maybe a dried fruit in there. But that nougat, oak, and caramel is delightful. Yeah, trail mix is coming to the front. I wouldn't say it's salty, like I said, with like more of a Booker's. Sometimes you get a little died down on the salt, but there is a nice nuttiness to it. Let's go on the palate and see. That's not bad. Not bad. More salted caramel than salted peanut. I think that nuttiness, that kind of mixed nut is still there, but this does kind of have a nice like candy bar to it. Like this nice kind of chocolate, nougat, that peanut kind of brings me in there with that salted caramel. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. If that's who I think it is, I'm pretty surprised. I'm going to do a sip 2, cleanse sip 1. Now we know what sip 2 is. See if that nougat candy bar sticks. That's really good. I'm sticking with kind of that candy bar, more peanut pronounced as I've kind of sipped it. But that chocolate's really nice. That oak is there. Overall, pretty delightful. Little drying as I'm kind of talking about it, but not desert pour, just slight tannic, if you will, but not bad. I don't know. Kind of happy I did it blind, because if I thought that was C, which color-wise I kind of do, just based off of the age. I mean, I feel like glass 1 and glass 3, I don't know if I can't do A, B, and C. Glass 1 and 3 just seem to be darker. I don't know, but let's see what glass 3 has on the nose. That's rich, very rich, kind of like a baked caramel, baked brown sugar, nice vanilla, less nutty. I feel like I've kind of talked about some of the nuttiness, if you will, on 1 and 2. This one seems to be at least died down. Is it being influenced? Maybe, but this one just kind of seems to be just a nice rich pour. I love this nose. I mean, it's toffee, cherry, kind of with that baking spice. It is kind of bringing me into like a cherry, like streusel or strudel. I can't remember. One of those two letters, but just kind of that nice, rich, kind of baked cherry gelatin with the nice crumble on it. Baking spice. Let's go on the palate. This one may be my favorite nose. I'll have to revisit real quick, but this could be my favorite nose. Okay. Finish seems to be the least based off of like 1 and 2, how it's kind of felt in the chest. Overall, not bad. Pretty sweet. I think it's going kind of sour in the back, and I'm not pumped about it. I'm trying to see if the cherry is pulling forward. I'm rooting for it. That cherry toffee was really intrigued by. Overall, it's just kind of this honey, kind of peanut buttery pepper. So not pumped about it. But let's do a quick revisit. Wipe out what Glass 2 brought to the table. Cleanse it. Let's get a true tasting. Sip 2, a little better. It's just a little flat. Like the flavors that I'm going to give you in a second that I kind of already have as well, there's just a lack of richness to it, and I don't know how else to explain it. This kind of peanut butter honey, but if you expected like to taste it at a 10, like you just took a scoop of peanut butter, drizzled some honey on it, you're like, do I have COVID? Like, why? I know what I'm eating, but it just feels muted somehow. Then you have this cinnamon pepper, just heat, and the finish just kind of seems to be lacking somehow. It's there. All of these are over at least 115. Can't fully remember. You would think that they're warming, and yes, it is, but it just seems fast somehow. So we'll see. I'm going to do a quick revisit. We'll go final thoughts and see what's the best Elijah Craig of this year. All right. Closing thoughts. Crown a winner. See if your batch is still on the shelf. All right. Closing thought wise. I think my favorite nose is probably Glass 1, followed very closely by Glass 3. I think there's just this deep richness to it that is really, it smells more expensive. You hand that over to me and I'm like, oh, I am in for a great pour. But really enjoy kind of what's going on with this kind of just cherry strudel. Probably should have looked that up. So we're just going to balance. I don't even know if those two things exist, or am I just mixing up one letter? I don't know. I'm going to find out soon, probably in the comments as well. But there's a really great sweetness in Glass 3, so a lot closer than what I thought it was going to be. In terms of palate, I guess I just got to score them. Yeah, I got to score them. All right, we're going into rankings. I feel like palate gives too much away. I feel like the tiers were pretty large this year, and I don't remember the years past on like how close everything was. But yeah, third place. Okay, so thought C batch was here because of the color, and I still just didn't like it. I love what this nose is. If that nose translated to the palate at all, this at least would have gotten second. But it's jumbled, it's muted, and I don't understand why. Maybe it's me, so take a look at some of the other reviews, and if they love C-Batch, cool. But it's just this false richness that the nose is so inviting and so intriguing, and I just can't get behind it. This did taste better than what I remember the Spotlight episode doing, so maybe it just needs that much more time to kind of get some oxygen in there. But, it's been open for 2, maybe 3 weeks now, and it's just slightly better at this point. Now, second place / first place. Second place is going to be Glass 2, which means Glass 1 wins it. Glass 2, it had a great richness to it. It's just Glass 1 is just this big dark brown sugar on steroids. And it still has this great complexity to it. So Glass 2, A batch, which means Last one is, I hope, B. I mean, there's a slight fear to where you're like, I don't know what letter is going to be under here, but it better be B at this point. B's a monster. B is exactly what I want when it comes to an Elijah Craig barrel proof. So that batch was back for sure. A, really good in its own kind of right. I just think C is just, it's shocking. So I don't know if we're excited that B was so good, or I don't know if we're very worried that C is so bad. I guess we'll find out in January 2026. Thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully B batch is still on your shelf. It's a definite buy, especially if you need another barrel proof in these cold, gray, dark times. And if you're in Florida, enjoy.